Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna tell you the secret on how to be a good Queen Landy enjoyer Aukis edition. First and foremost, you gotta build her like this, with the recent buff to Landy and her artifact, which grants stealth at the end of a turn, and her own passive which gives stealth at the first battle. There's no other reason to use any other artifact, because Wall of Order is just too good to pass up for her. Landy's role right now is to be dishing out continuous damage. Therefore, you need to have high attack and crit damage. Forget about HP, because we're going balls deep into DPS. We're talking about 4k attack and above, as high as much crit damage as you can. And also, she needs a little bit of speed so you can quickly cycle through her S3, or you can use the CR pusher with her. First and foremost, you have to build her like this, with the recent buffs to Landy and her. First and foremost, you got to build her like this, with the recent buffs to Landy and her artifact, which grants stealth at the end of a turn for the artifact, and she herself gives stealth at the start of the battle. There's no reason to use any other artifact, because Wall of Order is just too good to pass up for her. Landy's role right now is to dish out good and big damage. Therefore, you need to have high attack and crit damage. Forget about HP, because we're going balls deep into DPS. She also needs a little bit of speed, so you can quickly cycle through her S3, or you can use a CR pusher with her. It's all about momentum with her. The more turns she takes, the stronger she gets, so take good advantage of that. But what about anti-ban, you may ask? With this particular build, you can just punch through those defenses in 2 to 3 S3s. Now, let's get to where can I use her, or who should I pair her up with? Here's a few examples I can show you. These are the few examples of where I use Landy, on who I use Landy with, all the wins, all the losses, and for good measure to show that I'm not puffing my puff, I am the premier #1 green Landy user last season. Okay, so I have some weight in what I'm saying. For some part, okay, at least I use Landy a lot, even before her buff. So you can take what I say with a little bit of grain of salt or whatever, what have you. Okay. Now let's go to the first match. Yeah, for the first match up here, say I'll take, as per usual, Arunga first pick, and then we go into A Meru, and then into Amit, and then Landy, and then Celine. Right? The enemy uses the normal and simple picks of FCC, Ilinov, Human Luna, Celine, and then Aflan. Right? You may think, oh, he has Ilinov, he has anti-pen, so let's not use any kind of pen. With my Landy build, you can just don't care about that, because in 2 to 3 attacks, all those defenses doesn't mean anything. Okay. Now let's go to the second match. The second match, yes, Landy is bad, but because of how good Landy was against this team, right? He doesn't have any AoE apart from Aflan, but Landy is pretty much protected with Skill Nullifier from Amit. So at least for one turn of AoE, she's safe and sound and can dish out damage over and over again to the enemy team. And also good against Wayang, which I just banned just to be safe. Right? Let's go to the third match. Third match is pretty much I have no Amit. I have no Amit, so what do I do here? Well, if you look at the enemy team, his first movers or suspected first movers are Lydica, Celine, and Diane. Lydica is the highest threat, so therefore I ban her just to be safe. And all his other first movers are ML, Celine, and Diane, which doesn't really do anything against Landy, so Landy is pretty much safe to take her turn and dish out damage. Okay, now look at the fourth match. The fourth match, the opponent just first pick FCC. I'll counter with Barunga and Tien, which seems pretty safe, but after that he decided to go into Black Senya into Achilles. So I was thinking he's going to play slow, right? He's going to play slow, so therefore Landy can take the advantage here, and I just pick her at third. And then Hua Yang, with the first four, I could probably be thinking in my mind I can take advantage of this slow team and just take the movers advantage and just go ham, go fast, dish out damage over and over again. And then he picked ML Celine and Crown, which doesn't really matter, so I just picked Chu to counter their HP bruises. So Landy is really protected over here, so we don't have to worry about anything, and she can just take the game. For the fifth match, this is usually my go-to cleave team for last season, where I usually just pick SPP or ML Politis as my first pick, and then I'll counter their picks like FCC, and then Kera I just counter with Politis and Ahmed, and then he countered with Moon Bunny and Celine. Most people would say Moon Bunny and Celine would be good against Ahmed, especially Moon Bunny. But if you just pick another extra turn attacker, Moon Bunny is pretty much dead in the water, right? And Celine is pretty much non-issue against Ahmed, because Ahmed gives skill nullifier, completely nullifying any damage that Celine can dish out. So this is pretty much a simple clear case cut of outdrafting. Now let's get to the sixth match. The sixth match is pretty simple, right? Pretty simple. It's using all bruiser DPSs, so I just counter with high DPS and speed for the last two picks here. And Landy is just really good against ML so he really can't do anything over here. He does not have any kind of first mover advantage, so that's a pretty much clear-cut win. For the seventh match, I lost. Well, why did I lose? Because I got outspent. And with LPK over here, LPK is pretty much the antithesis of Landy. If my Ahmed didn't take first turn, he is pretty much dead to LPK, which in this case, yeah, my Landy didn't survive that. But that is such the case. For this match, right, I didn't manage to get first turn, so therefore I just lost. It's as simple as that. And then for this match, I didn't pick Landy. My opponent picked Landy, but he didn't pick another speed opener here. Therefore, he just lost, because I have a couple of ways to completely strip Landy of her stealth and just go to town with that. So as you can see from these matches, Landy is the most best pick in all situations. You have to pick her really carefully into certain comps. You can't just go all in unless you have completely read out your opponents. You completely took in the factor of who goes first, whether you can move first before Landy gets completely stripped of her stealth and then just be sitting duck. In my mind, at least in my mind, right, Landy is a DPS, a high DPS unit that is go all in or nothing. That's how I like to play Landy. And now that's it from me. I hope you guys managed to learn a few things from how I like to play Landy and how you can use Landy in ways that only you could think of, right? Landy is a fun unit. She's a really high DPS. And it's a lot more fun when your Landy managed to get a greater attack buff whenever her turn comes up, right? That's the moment we all Landy players live for. And with that, I'm going to show you a few examples of Landy in RTA, and I hope I'll catch you guys again in the next video.
The spiritual energy here. In the blink of an eye,
Are you the punk who chased Tora away? Huh?
Now, let us begin.
Who are you people? This ill-fated relationship between us ends here.
Like I said, I know everything. You're in for a surprise.
Let my guard down.
In the name of the goddess. More magical power.
I smell living creatures. Attack.
Received. You the one who hurt my family? Allow me to show you.
Who's the king of these streets?
Why not surrender? Let me show you my secret weapon. Respect the great Landy!
Miserable creature. I will show you grace. By granting you death.
My guard down.
I'm always open to new opportunities. Ouch!
Right. It's time for Tora to eat.
For Felicia.
Let my guard down.
Someone needs to be made an example of.
Too slow.
You may be worth my attention.
Ouch! Nothing in this world is free. Are my sweet babies all ready? Wipe them out. Ouch!
Let my guard down.
Leave it to me. Full frontal assault. That's an order.
Such a drag. So, the footsteps following me were from you? Oh, it wasn't you?
What, you think this is a joke? Ha! I'm at the scene. Ha! How do I look? Felicia. I'm more reliable than